Okay, so here we go. We are looking at section 4.5. We're going to talk about how to prove triangles congruent, okay? So there's going to be a bunch of different ways, but what we're going to do first is side, 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 and side, angle, side, okay? They're just exactly the way they sound. If I have two triangles and I can say that every single side is congruent to another side in the other triangle, so that I have three sets of congruent sides, then I can say that they are congruent. Okay, so we say side, side, side. So let's do a proof. So I have given you a word bank. Your word bank might not be on your notes. I can't remember if I put them on there. Is it? Okay. So basically what we're going to look at is where they're at, what they're asking us to prove. The first thing they're trying to get me to prove is that triangle PQR is congruent to triangle PSR. So if you guys want colored pencils to color code these, you can. Okay? Set them on my desk. Alright, so the first thing is we want to list what is given to us in these pictures. Okay? So let's look at the tick marks. Okay? So, do we have any tick marks on the purple triangle and the orange triangle that match up?
Yes.
Yes, which ones?
The tick mark on PS and the tick mark on PQ.
Okay, so on PS and PQ, they have the same tick marks, so what's that mean?
They're congruent.
They're congruent. So do we see that anywhere in our list here?
Yeah, it's the fourth one down.
The fourth one down. So PQ is congruent to PS. That's step one. How did you know that that was true? Because you could see it in the picture, and they gave us the picture, right? So that would be given. What else is given to us in that picture? Good. QR and SR have two tick marks both, so I could say QR and SR and what's the reason for that one? Given. It's given to us in the picture. Now, they specifically told me to use side, side, side. How many sets of sides have I talked about so far?
4.
How many sets? I agree I have 4 total, but they're in pairs of 2, so I've got 2 sets. How many more sets do I need? 1, because there's only 3 sides in a triangle, right? So what's the last one that we haven't talked about? PR. And is it in both of them? They share it. So can I say that PR is congruent to PR?
Yes.
What's the reason for that? Good. Good. Reflexive property. So we've done given and we've done reflexive property. So have I listed 3 sets of sides? So now can I say that they're congruent now that we've talked about all 3 sides? What do you think?
Yes.
Yeah. So now I can say exactly what they were asking me to prove. Triangle PQR is congruent to triangle PSR. And what was the reason?
Side, side, side.
Side, side, side. Okay. It's that easy. So on
Let's make
these,
proofs with everyone.
so when we go ahead and list all 3 sides congruent, we have 3 sets, then we can use side, side, side. Okay, I'm not gonna do a bunch of these on the board. We're just gonna move to the next one and we'll do some
Do we
examples
make our
together.
own one on that one?
Do what?
On the next one? We're making our own thing.
Okay. Just a second, I want him to get this. Just set it on my desk, Sawyer. Just set it on my desk. Okay? Alright, so the next one we're gonna do is called side, angle, side. So instead of having 3 sides congruent, I'm gonna have 2 sides with the angle in the middle, okay? So this is very, very important. It has to go in that order. It has to be a side and another side, and that angle has to be between them. It has to go side, angle, side. So it went green, then the angle, and then the blue side. It has to do the same thing over here. Green, the angle, and then the blue side. So it has to be in order. I can't have a side, and then an angle over here. That angle has to be between those two sides. They call that the included angle, okay? So how many sets of sides do we have to list this time? Two. And how many sets of angles? One. Okay, so let's look at a proof right here. So we have this whole thing right here. So this is my picture. Let's go look and see what it is that they're asking me to prove. They want me to prove that KPN, so I'm gonna outline it. KPN, okay? They want us to prove that it is congruent to, let me say LPM. Okay. I know it's kind of hard to see on your guys' pictures because it's kind of hard to see up here. These have one tick mark and these have two. Okay? We have our word bank over here. So what's something that we can see just by looking at that picture? Okay, vertical angles too, yes. So I do see vertical angles. So here's the thing. Your steps might come in a different order than your neighbor, and that's okay. Some of us might see the angles first. Some of us might see the sides first. It doesn't matter what order as long as we get two sets of sides and a set of angles listed, okay? So she sees the vertical angles first. So since she said that first, let's go ahead and talk about it. That's these two angles right here. How would I name those angles? Do we see that in our word bank?
KPN and LPM.
Good, okay. So KPN is angle, I forgot my angle sign, is congruent to angle LPM. Good. We usually start off with the given, but is that given to us or did we know it because of the type of angles they are?
We know it.
We know it. And those are, what do we call them?
Vertical angles.
Vertical angles. Okay. What's something else that we can see by just looking up there?
NP is congruent to NP.
Good. So NP is congruent to MP. How did you know that, Johnny?
Given.
Given. Good. Because they give us a picture and it has tick marks. They gave us that information. Okay, what else can I see by looking up there? Okay, good. KP and LP. How'd you know that? Because it's given. They gave us tick marks. Good.
What? There's only one given in the word bank now.
That's okay. We can use the given more than once.
Wait.
So now we have to kind of ask ourselves, did we list two sets of angles or sides? Did we list one set of angles? Did they follow the right order? Did it go side, angle, side? Because side, angle, side. Let's go to the other one and see. Did it have the one tick mark, so this side, it's got the same angle, and then two tick marks, so the same side? So did it follow the pattern, side, angle, side? Yes, so can I say they're congruent? Yep, so let's name those triangles right here in our word bank.
Why have them KP and LP be midpoint? Because there's midpoint.
Actually, there's not a midpoint. Oh, yeah, okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah, you could say that that was a midpoint. So if they hadn't put the tick marks on there and they would have just said P is the midpoint of those two lines, then you would have been forced to put your own tick marks, and then you would have said by definition of midpoint. Okay, so good question. But since they gave us the tick marks, then we don't have to even mention that it's a midpoint. Okay, but I like how you're thinking, that's good. Okay, so triangle KPN is congruent to triangle LPM. What did we use? Did we use side, side, side this time?
Wait, what does that mean?
We use side, angle, side. Just a second here, okay? Side, angle, side. Okay? So what we're we're gonna do is I'm gonna stop here and then we'll do some together, okay? So I'm gonna stop the video for the next hour so I can upload it.